And we're live, ladies and gentlemen.
Welcome back to another edition of the Link Up Podcast with your host, Mr. King, Kana Woods, Kalissa, and Rashid here in the building. Like, got the full house here in the building. I was gonna say, this is take two for those who don't know. I'm exposing our business now, but anyway, welcome back to the Link Up Podcast. Continue with the tradition of themes that we started. This episode is no different, and today's theme was picked by none other than our moderator, Kalissa. So I'm gonna pass the mic on to her to continue to introduce what we're gonna be talking about today and why. So Kalissa, do you think?
All right, hello, folks. I basically see a post online, and I thought it was very interesting, and I think it speaks volumes to like some of the stuff that I myself encounter, and like I know a lot of my friends experience as well. So I thought it would be an interesting topic to talk about. So I'm gonna just read off a little bit of the post for y'all, so y'all can understand where we're coming from. So the post started. Basically, it was somebody reacting to what this guy posted anonymously. He posted, I once approached a teenage girl around 14 years old by asking her for directions at first. Then proceeded to ask her for her name. She became afraid and started walking away. I followed her, and then she went from walking briskly to running. He said her gait was peculiar, and then because she ran like a newborn fawn and turning around every so often. So he thought this was like amusing apparently. And then he stated, now I want to make it perfectly clear that I absolutely abhor rape and did not have any intention in that direction and not to molest her or anything like that, okay? So then he claimed that she had no reason to be frightened. I wasn't going to do anything. But the feeling when you follow a girl and she notices you and she tries to lose you it, or picks you up. What? Okay, picks up the pace. Sorry. It's a
Just get the
little.
gist of it.
No, but like some of the sentences don't make any sense.
Mm.
So then, yeah, so basically he's saying that is a good feeling when you become the most important thing to her and like the rest of the crowd like falls away because they become insignificant. It's actually what he says. So you're no longer a random insignificant face in the crowd. And then he admit that is kind of low level behavior, but he enjoys doing it. And that he does it like that. This is something he does frequently, and that basically, y'all get the gist of that post.
That sounds quite rapey to me.
No, but someone made a like so. What I thought was interesting was not only what he said, but also how people reacted, because there was one reaction saying that what's it like being a woman, and then somebody answered, when men psychologically torture you for fun to tells themselves that they become what.
So is your
Sorry.
reading or is these people? 'Cause it's like the
No,
second different
it
person,
was
and it
like
can't be two
no.
people got bad sentences. So I seen a pattern here. What's going on?
No, it was like because the first thing had confused me, because like he said her gait was peculiar, and then he was like she ran like a newborn fawn. Like some of the sentences don't make sense.
Her
It makes
gait,
sense.
her
But
gait,
It's,
her
it's
gait
just not
also
is
something you
yeah,
would say normally.
yeah. A gait is in reference to like the way a person walk, like the distance between the legs or the spacing between steps and something like that.
no,
That
but
is
some of
what.
them don't. I know, but like I looking for the exact post because it had like 6 pictures.
Mhm.
I couldn't remember what it was.
But why are you looking? Just give the Samava thing, the
So
summary.
Yeah.
basically the person was like, that meant. So the one that I thought was the most interesting was somebody commenting on the fact that men psychologically torture women.
Mhm.
Hmm.
And this is an example of that.
Yeah.
I don't know if I consider that psychological. I feel like that's physical. Like you legit physically running after somebody.
No,
No,
but
he
that's
didn't say he was
psychological.
running. He
Well, he
just saying
said
he's
that he wasn't
following
running
her.
after something, but yeah, and then he no, but him purposely making her feel uncomfortable and making her think like there's something to feel,
Mm-hmm.
even
Mm-hmm.
though he
Mm.
said he had no intention of physically harming her.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but yeah. I mean, I see what you mean, but I don't know. Since either way, I don't know how. I like what made you choose this as a topic? Because like, yeah, what about this made you be?
I mean, I've been followed home on several occasions.
Hmm.
So, like to me, it was interesting in the sense that to know that maybe some of the people didn't have the intention of physically harming me, but get a thrill out of making me anxious and making me feel for potentially my life or things like that, you know?
But I don't know. I feel that's a sicko type something. I can't speak for nobody else, but like I can't relate.
Yeah, that's some
I
other shit.
but I
Like,
honestly think like I have had experiences where like men intentionally like you could see like based on their actions that they just wanted to scare me.
Really?
Yeah, 100%. Like when
How do
you
you know
when you
when somebody trying to actually do you harm and when somebody
when
just trying
they
to scare you?
no like it have times when um a guy just start running like he start approaching me really quick to see me run and then he stop and laugh
hmm.
Yeah.
like shit like that like or like when walking coming towards me and I on the opposite side of the road and he fake like he was gonna cross and do something to me and then he stopped.
Hmm.
So like I that's what I'm saying. Like I've experienced like times where I think like people was doing it just to fuck with me. And
Mm-hmm.
then I had other times where I honestly believe I was like in danger. Cause I've been followed like I've actually been followed all the way home before. Like in
Mm-hmm.
Aruba, I had a time I was walking home from school. I couldn't have been older than like I had to be like 13, 14 years old.
Hmm.
And a guy followed me home on a bike from my school, like pretty much the gate of the school, all the way to the door of my house. Because I was walking, like I used to walk home at that time. And usually, and I remember Claire was like a Friday, and usually I just go by my grandmother's on Fridays. But I was afraid that the person would pass back and try and break into the house or something like that. So I didn't want to go by my grandmother's house. Like my house at least had like cameras and we have big dogs, so the chance of somebody trying to do something there is like less likely because you could see that we have like a security system like from outside. So I was like, better I actually go home even though I'm gonna be alone than pass by my grandmother's house because I
Mm-hmm.
was afraid now that somebody would have tried come in and then end up hurting my grandmother.
Mm-hmm.
And
But
then I
then
had but
no,
then
no, never mind. Continue.
you know so what you was gonna say?
Continue your story.
No, I was gonna say like I was gonna give you a next story. I've been followed home from Central a bunch of times.
Like situations like that is crazy. Like when you think about following somebody from school to their house type of thing is like
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And
to try
it
to
was a
put
good like
yourself like to try to
15, 20
understand the
minutes.
behavior is like there's some things like I forget which one of y'all had said either Kana Woods describing it as sicko behaviors like at some point you can't find no other way to describe it than that type of thing because I literally try to put
Mm-hmm.
myself in the mindset of like why and what is the motivation this homie talking about this thing being a trail like for me like my thought there's been times when I'm walking and a girl is in front of me and in my mind I do think like I wonder if she think I'm following her type of stuff. It's like it might just be
Mm.
like
Yeah.
we happen to have to like walk the same direction type of thing. And in some ways I could see that, okay, she maybe she crossed the road and gone on the next side, and it's like, well, I apologize if I make you uncomfortable in some kind of type of way. I'm not saying none of that, of course, but it's like if I gotta
Mm-hmm.
walk the same direction as you, I have to walk the same direction as you. I ain't trying to do that not make you feel uncomfortable if you decide to run off or something like that. And that's where it's like it's a tricky thing because I understand where it comes from, where the fear comes from, and it might seem like in a kind of paranoid sense where for from a woman's perspective you never know, like you can't necessarily tell who just trying to do this for kicks or who actually want to do something or who just happen to be walking in the same direction as you. Is like I
Yeah.
understand that the guard is up for all scenarios because you can't ever really tell what is what until it goes left or until it turns out he laughing and he was trying to make a joke. Like you never really know.
Yeah. Like I have two stories to tell. One is not that I at least I think it's funny. So I do scare my girlfriend a lot, but I do that like in the sense that like when we
What?
walk in, I like stamp fast or something just to make her frightened because she's always like a little tense. So
Hmm.
I'm that asshole. But um, I do have a neighbor. The first time I met my neighbor, I came back from a club, and we went to the same club, and we got into the same bus, and we were
Hmm.
walking back home, and it was legit like, yo, this guy is following me from the club, and now he's
Hmm.
walking, and then going to the same building, going in, like going to the same elevator, and then
Yeah.
by the
Yeah, that's tense.
yeah, and even in like walking home, like taking the same turns and everything, and then when she saw me finally going to the door, she was like, "Oh my god!"
No, but
The girl
it's
thought
for
her
sure
life
tense.
flashed
Like,
before her eyes.
Yeah, she said she was scared the whole time. I was like, "Sorry," but yeah,
yeah,
I
but
get
if
it.
you like, if she had see a key, she wouldn't have think nothing. You check.
Yeah, I didn't think that far. I was kind of drunk as well, but yeah.
True.
But my question is, Rashid, you ever had something like that?
Mm, not to my knowledge. I probably had situations like King said where you're walking behind somebody and you wonder to yourself, like if that person feel any type of way that you in the back of them or something like that. But never to the extent of something like what Woods brought up.
So then my question would have been, if y'all notice that, do you change your behavior and try to make her comfortable, or do you just say fuck it and continue doing what you're doing?
Okay, how would you change your behavior
That
and make her
was
comfortable?
that was actually in one of the posts that it said a guy posted if he walking on the same street side of the road as a girl, he will cross the road to make her feel more safe. So like so she knows that he don't have any type of intentions because from once he cross, like she feels some type of like calmness, which
Nah,
I probably would agree with. Like, cause if I do, like, if I walking on the same side of the road as a guy and he crossed the road, it would make me feel a lot better, honestly.
Of course.
I get it, but I don't think I would go that far.
I
But
know I
that's
wouldn't
just
that
See,
far.
you
because,
see, I
but
asked
that's
you the question to
because
all you first to see how much to gauge how much of an assholeish my answer is.
Cause I know, but the thing is, I just
We just
know
run through
who I
everybody.
am, and I know, like, cause then it would be like cause I make
But
white
I think
people uncomfortable when I walk in the city. Now, should I now move to the side because they are uncomfortable because I'm walking on the
no,
street? So I use that same analogy with that. Like, it's just
but
I am me,
that's
so I'm not
different
going
though.
to. Cause if you feel uncomfortable,
That's
no, sorry.
honestly, I think that's different because I could tell you from experience. Generally, I could tell when somebody is following me rather than when it's just coincidentally we go in the same place. Like it's just certain things that will give it away. And as I was saying, when I was followed home from Central, like I see the panel was sitting down. He see me. He was watching me for a long time. Then he get up, tell everybody bye, and then get like he was staring at me, stand up next to me, try talk to me, get on the same metro, try ask me where I'm going, all of that. And like,
But that's a
it
different
ain't
situation,
like,
though.
that's why I'm saying the day when I get followed home too, that's why it's not just like, oh, just because somebody walking next to me or walking the same path, I go automatically assume you following me. But as I telling you, with y'all, it's probably a different circumstance where you wouldn't have to do all of that extra stuff, because it honestly, for me personally, I have found like I could generally tell when somebody really trying to follow me rather than they coincidentally happen to be going the same place. Like, yes, with a hallway situation what Woods described, that would feel a little thing to me. But in other circumstances, I wouldn't necessarily think, oh, somebody follow me, unless I see certain things. Because when I walk in somewhere alone, it is people going on around me. That's why I tell you, I peep from when the partner leave. The same thing happened at Aruba. The partner was like riding around by his house. He see me, and then he started following me home on a bike. He was on the same side of the road with me. He was following me the whole way. When I stop, he stopped. Those type of things. And then when I walk in my yard, he leave and he gone back on his way. Like he didn't have no business, especially where I live. He ain't got no business over there. Ain't got nothing there. So I feel like is kind of like a difference, because you can't really equate what y'all is be doing to a partner who
Like,
actually trying to follow somebody.
No, but
No,
we're not
no,
trying to
when things
equate
are
it to each
no.
other.
But
We're
the
just saying like
question,
if we see the girl being uncomfortable, do we change our mannerisms to make her feel comfortable, or do we just go about our
Right.
business? Because we
yeah,
know
I mean,
the conversation for us will never be the same, because would none of us here, or at least I would hope, would
yeah.
just willingly out of our business go, hey, I gonna follow this chick to see where the fuck she live. I don't have the time or the
Thank you.
patience for that shit.
what's your
So
time
I
and
mean,
is
patience?
honestly,
Sorry, just the way you said it made me laugh. I'm sorry. I didn't have the time or the patience.
is
But would say so no, he wouldn't cross the road in that situation.
Yeah, that's what I
Kana,
meant.
Kana, I
I
assume that's your
wouldn't,
answer as
to be
well.
quite honest, I wouldn't either. Because I mean, why is honestly for me is a bit of a in between type something, because while I do have a lot of female friends and I do have a lot of family that I care about that are women, so I would like to say that yeah, I would like to believe that if another guy had to see one of my people, my loved ones, being uncomfortable, that they would cross the road or whatnot and stuff like that. But that's me being selfish for my people. If that was me and I have to put me in that situation now, I don't necessarily think I would do that, because I know I wouldn't do anything. So
like
my initial reaction would be like, if you feel something, I mean, I'm sorry for you for what you've been through and your experiences, but that ain't got shit to do with me.
I feel what like with the analogy Woods gave to me, that sum it up like perfectly. Because like when I think about the situation, I can't help but look at it in the same way, more or less. Whereas like there's times when some old white lady, I get on the elevator or whatever, I walk in this for example, times when I come on a train, she in the same train stop and she start clutching her purse close next to her and stuff like that. Is like, do I sit somewhere else because you racist and assume I trying to rob you? It's like, no, I trying to sit down type of thing. You and your racism, that's your problems, that's what going on in your mind. That is not my reality or what I am planning to do or anything like that. So I know that is slightly different because the intention, it's fair at the end of the day. Like when you see a girl cross the road or whatever because she thinks somebody following her.
I understand it.
Similarly to the white lady who's clutching her purse, it's both of them is fair, but it's like I don't know, because I honestly was trying to think of what is the right thing to do, because I get that if you trying to make the woman feel comfortable, but it's not my fault you're not comfortable type of thing. So it's like I go in extra out of my like I other people may have follow you, but it's I ain't the person that follow you. Is like if I ain't got no plans to follow you or stalk you or anything like that, holding your hand when you're trying to go anywhere, like none of these is things I plan to do. Is like I'm just trying to walk. I know, we all share more or less the same opinion on that. Whereas
I
like
mean,
I don't
don't
think I'm
don't
across the road.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong either. I'm not saying that women in general don't have the right to feel that way or obtain strangers, because you never know. You can't tell who's who. Even people that you know, you never know what the hell they gonna do. But is that for like me personally? Is like, all right, yeah. Again, sorry you feel that way, and sorry the experience you have. But again, that have nothing to do with me.
I mean, in all honesty, I have that feeling too. If I'm walking in the park, coming back from like the
This
city
is
and
what.
so on,
I was about to bring
and
it up too.
and there's
Yeah.
like two random guys walking behind me, I'm tense, but
I
at the
get
same
nervous when
time,
I see drunk white dudes in the park because I'm like, I don't know if any of these is a football hooligan who can scream the N word at me because they drunk and feel like if I honestly that is how I just feel when I see a group of drunk white dudes. I just be like, I don't know if
But you
any
know
of y'all
that's
racist and feel like doing no dumb shit to me. I don't know.
that's interesting that you say that, because I have it the opposite. I am more comfortable. I would be more at ease if I had to see a group of white fellas. If I walk in late at night, then I have to see a group of black people.
My thing just be like, they ain't trying to rob me. I look like the people who doing the robbing. That is my logic. According to the stereotype,
What Sean talking about
like
because he looked like it too.
No,
So
but no, but you see,
just
but that's the thing. With For me, it's
just
not
look like a
necessarily
washed out version.
is racist on my end as well, but different, for lack of a better term. Why I say it's still
Okay,
racism,
but
because
you
I
getting
feel,
kind of off topic though. I
we
feel
are.
like
yeah, that's true.
yeah,
But the group, but it depends on group is the people in general. Like, if you're not doing anything to be a dick,
yeah.
and the home girl feel uncomfortable, and like, yeah, you can't do anything else just other than not.
Yeah, cause you
Look,
can't you
Yeah.
can't even you can't even say like I'm not gonna do anything, cause then you're
Yeah,
gonna
because that
sound
just
like
make you sound even creepier. So
yeah, you're
like,
gonna sound
Kalissa,
like you're doing something.
Kalissa, let me ask. Like, you're the only female on the panel that has be on the receiving end of this behavior. You said that you would feel more comfortable if a dude crosses road, but like,
not not.
do you
I
feel
feel
it's
like
like a dude's
sometimes
responsibility to do it? Like, if he
no,
does it,
not
you appreciate
not
it,
at
but
all.
are you
But
feel like it's kind of
yeah,
compelled, or like
I
you would?
don't I don't think it's his responsibility because look, at the end of the day, if something happened, the first question I gonna get asked is why was doing that, why was walking alone. Like that's the first, like, oh, but you was paying attention, or like that's the first thing that going to be asked. Honest to God,
yeah,
anything like
yeah,
so.
hmm,
Then it's my responsibility to make sure that I keeping myself as safe as possible, and at the same end, like I said, like at the same time, I don't believe anybody who happened to be going the same direction as me is following me. I just saying that in my experience, you can tell a difference because there's certain behaviors that I just see and then I like this shady. And I think girls who've been in that position also know because it's like if I stop and you stop, something wrong. Or like if I check in sometimes I just do this, like I just have my phone here and I check in to see, or I looking at your shadow, like different things I doing to make sure like I keep in mind my headphones, it might show that it might look to you like they're on, but they're not on. I listening to what going on behind me. I trying to see how many people behind me. Even when I'm coming down from the station, if I come in by myself, I'm making sure that I have like three, like if I have three guys behind me, I'm making sure at all times I know where it is, I know what they're doing, I listening to the conversation, I like seeing how far away it is from me. If I speed up, they're gonna speed up, like them those type of things, you know. If I turn left, you gonna turn left, like at a certain point, especially if I'm going somewhere that's like basically a straight road, but I end up taking like a long way, or like I turn a bunch of times for no reason and you turn behind me, that to me that's sketchy. So it's like you not responsible for doing anything. Like if you just walking, just continue walking. I would know if somebody starting to look a bit like off. You know, like I, even though you might think like I'm not peeping shit, I, as soon as I hear like people behind me and I alone, especially at certain times of the day, it just is a wrap for me. Like no, I very vigilant. Like I'm making sure I know what's going on. Like, and I also making sure. like I have my phone open on somebody that I could call
Hmm.
like right away that's nearby. So
And to
I
that
just
point,
tell people to meet me sometimes.
I'm sorry. I was gonna say to that point. Sometimes I have noticed like before, if a girl in front of me and I notice she crossed the road, right, and I also need to cross on that side, I would wait a bit longer
Wait,
to cross. Yeah,
so I
Now that you
don't
say
instead
like,
of
that,
crossing
now you say that,
immediately right after her.
I just do that too. But then,
Like there's times when I making certain decisions and in my head it's
Yeah.
like I know, look, yo, this
This
probably look
looks
mad.
wrong.
Like there's been many
mm-hmm.
times where I felt that and it's like, yo, I hope you know I'm not we're not talking, but I hope you know I'm not trending
Yeah,
because I know this. I know how this looks. Like
yeah.
I can
Like
imagine from your perspective how this looks.
legit. Like again, mentioning back the walk that I had from the
Yeah,
club
yours
all
is
the
a
way.
terrible. Yours is terrible. That's an
Like,
extreme example.
but like
Yeah.
for me, it was
No, but
also
I have
surprise every time she turned. I had to turn too. It was like because it was like even like the way we were walking almost in parallel at a certain point, and like I turn, she turned. It's like, oh fuck, no, this is getting awkward. And then
you
until the
see
moment,
you could have tried like I don't know.
now I had to pee.
I,
Like it was,
Like
there
I,
was
okay, like
no.
if I speed up and then no, but I had a friend like that same thing happened to her, and the girls are really do shit to check to see if like what going on, if it really going on. Like my friend, she stopped at her mailbox to see if the panel was gonna stop because she noticed somebody was following her. Stop at a mailbox to check her mail. He stopped there but didn't check no mail.
Yeah,
So then when she went in, he went in too. Gone up the stairs, he gone up the stairs too. You know what I say?
yeah,
Like
that's different. In my defense, she
because
did not
they was
stop.
waiting on the elevator. They was waiting on the elevator. Then when she bust off gone stairs, he went bust off gone stairs.
Yeah, okay,
Like
yeah, that's different.
okay, I,
In my
I,
defense, she didn't stop. We were just walking like
it's okay. It's okay, Woods. We're not. Nobody trying to call you or label you or
we
stuff.
know we friends.
All
We
right,
friends now. We cool. We kicking it.
no, but like my whole point of the topic was I thought it was interesting that like some dudes that do it on purpose, like to
But then,
instill a type of fear. Like
but then
that's
I
like
was
that's
going. I
odd.
was going to think with that. I was going to play devil's advocate with that one. This is for the fellas, obviously. If y'all get that feeling, right, that the girl who's in front of you think that you following her,
Mhm.
would you feel somewhat offended and then do it on purpose just because you realize that she thinks it?
No.
Okay, so maybe I just a little bit of an asshole.
Yeah, I
I
Why
only
you
understand.
would
the
feel
only
I understand.
offended?
I understand where you're coming from, Kana, because that is
Not to
why
say
I
I would
gave
do
the.
that. Not to say I
That
would do
is
it,
why.
but
That's why I
I
gave
know.
the example from the
Mm.
bus. Your racist nizzle has no. I must sit closer to you because you think I'ma rob you. Like you clutching your
But
purse.
but
I like.
this would lead to my next question. Now with King now.
But that's the thing. Here's the thing. Those racist people that that is clutch the purse when they see a black guy who sit next to them, right? How many of them you think actually get robbed by a black guy versus girls who feel funny but actually does
But
get
we don't
followed home
know.
on a regular?
But that's the thing, we don't
I,
know. Suppose
but
they did have bad experience and it was happening to be with black people, or maybe they just maybe they're not doing that just because we black. Maybe they're doing that because we're men in general. Just like how this whole conversation started in the first place. We don't know. We assuming they're doing it because she's a little old lady, a little white old lady, and because we are of a darker hue.
Right. But
But we don't necessarily know.
let me ask, right? Why feel offended if a female react this way
Mhm.
when we know that there are dudes out there that be following women? We know
Okay,
for a fact
I could
that
answer.
that is
I
a
could
thing.
answer
So
that. I
why
could answer
would
that.
you feel like the reason I wouldn't feel offended is because I know that shit exists.
I
So I was like, okay,
I
I
believe
understand why you
I
would feel that
I
way.
believe I
And
can
that's
answer
why
that.
regarding the following thing, that's why I react the way I do. Is like I'm not necessarily going to the extent of crossing the road, but
Hmm.
I still keeping a distance type of thing because I'm
Yeah.
not trying to. I understand. I sympathize with it. I know that's a real thing. The racist thing to me that just bothers me. But
Mhm.
even still in a
I
real
gonna
life
come back.
situation,
I
I'm
gonna
going
come back
out
to
of my
King.
way to do something to. I'm just maybe sitting down on a seat.
Hmm.
If you feel
Hmm.
a way about that, it's like, well,
yeah,
That's
and
it.
make myself more comfortable.
I will
Like
come back
I
to
don't think
King's situation, but with Rashid, with your question, Rashid, my knee jerk reaction to that would be like, who the fuck you think you is that I even want to be following you in the first place? But I have that reaction because in my head I would never do that. Two, I would never have that thought to be like, "Bar, yo, let me follow this girl is
yeah,
so
but
fine. Let
Yeah,
me
it's all
follow her
about
that's
home."
you.
But this is me. This is me from my standpoint. Again, I
Hmm.
understand where the women's point is, but that's why I was saying like my first reaction be like, "Who the fuck you think you is?" Like I didn't like. Okay, you look good, and so what? That's not like I what the fuck. But then going deeper into it, if
it's
you have
not
to look from the different reaction, all that, I can understand why they might feel away.
Hmm.
But
but
that's not.
it's not even that though. But the thing you saying like or you feel that way because you would never do that. But it's not something that's about you personally because honest to God, I could tell
Hmm.
you right now, whenever I've been followed, I can't even tell you what a people face look like. Or
Yeah,
like
but
I don't
but
like
Rashid
that's
question
different
wasn't
than
about the women though. That's my whole thing. It wasn't about all you this
yeah,
time.
but
His question was because I had said like, wouldn't you feel if some fellas would feel offended and whatnot? And that's what he was asking. Like, what? Why would you feel? Why would guys feel offended? I can't
No,
speak for most fellas.
knowing
Yeah, I
that
know. I
certain
can't speak for
ladies
most
went through
fellas, but
this.
I know that was my thought process at least. But that was just me personally. Then that's why I asked too why like if all you would feel away or if all you would consider doing the same. Because not to say I would go and follow her just on purpose, but like my thought would be like, boy, I should do it. I should do it just for spite.
I understand the thought. Like for me, it's a similar thing where it's like it to me is the same situation where hey, you look good, oh you reject me, okay well then go your cunt bitch type of thing. It's that same type of a it's not what should happen, it's the reaction to rejection or like not exactly rejection because he wasn't even trying, but that is like
Yeah, but I feel
it's
like
the
that
A
that's a
same.
reaction
different.
to a
I feel like that's
reaction.
a different. I feel like that's a different explanation because
But I mean
if
it's like
you
the
approach
human
her
mechanism. I mean the human mechanism where it's like just I don't know the I can't find the right word to phrase it, but to me it's a similar thing that's kind of like at the root. Not to say it's the same equipment, because in this situation you're not trying to holler at her or whatever. You just go in your business. She decide, okay, I'm across. You feel offended. It's like I get why. To me, it's the same reason with my racist thing. The offense is the same, so I understand the knee jerk reaction. It's your fears, but that's your brain. Like I'm not trying to do nothing to you. I can't fix what is happening in your head. What's the why you might have a racist reaction and do something like that. So I get the feeling offended too.
yeah, but at the same time, if something does go down, that's my problem. Cause the first thing somebody could turn around and ask you, what you do to defend yourself, or like
Mm.
you was paying attention, you was vigilant. All those fucking questions is what you just get asked.
Mm.
Because whenever I tell somebody, oh this and this happened, oh why you didn't do this, why you didn't do that.
Mm.
But then that just goes to my next question. What is obviously a problem. Not saying anything we here discussing is right or wrong. But my question is now, do we? I guess it's not. Yeah, it is a question. Was the better way to tackle it? Because instead of just complaining, and we obviously address the fact that it's not right. Men shouldn't be doing it. But that's obviously not enough because it's been wrong for the amount of decades that and centuries that humans have been
Yeah,
around.
but at the same time, but if I cross the road, you won't get offended. Like, make it make sense.
What?
Like,
It's a knee jerk reaction. Can I just explain? It's a knee
yeah.
jerk reaction. He's not saying, okay, and therefore now I am going to rape you or whatever because you crossed the road. So that prompts me to
No,
chase and
I
follow you. His knee jerk thing might be like, well, I'm offended. All right, cool. Cross the
I ain't
road. Do
saying
your
that,
thing.
but that's the same thing that dude they're posting. That's my point. He
Mm,
started saying, "Oh yeah, but I wasn't gonna do anything. You assume I was gonna do something,
no, I think you're
so now we're
missing.
gonna follow."
You're
That's a bit different.
Kalissa. You're missing what he's saying. What Sean is saying is the his first initial thought would be, because he was not even trying to approach this girl or do anything to this girl, but this girl still, quote unquote, technically rejected him in some type of way, even though he didn't do anything. So his knee jerk reaction in his head, not that he's gonna do it, in his head would be like, well, fuck you, or something like that, and continue walking his way. Not that he's going to do it, but that thought process of like being offended does cross his mind, because he's not a rapey guy. But you treated him somewhat like a rapey guy, because it was like, oh, let me go on the side because he's probably going to do something. Or I think he's going to do something. That's what he was saying. Not that he's doing it, but the thought process of being offended does go through his mind, because he's not that type of guy. Get what I'm saying?
I think the difference. I think the difference with the post that you told us about, Kalissa, is that this dude in the post
He
got a
tries.
thrill from seeing.
Yes.
He got a thrill from seeing this girl feel some type of way, right? And that's completely different from what Kana was saying.
Yeah, but he did say that he not a rapey guy neither.
Yeah.
Yeah, but feeling
So
a
I feel like
thrill
if you
and
blur the line,
wanting
no,
to do something is completely different than feeling offended. Like, yo, who the
that,
fuck you think you is that I would even want to consider following you? How are you equivalating the
yeah,
two?
but then you turn around and say I should do it just because.
Yeah, but again, that's the thought. Homie actually did it. So you don't see the difference between the two.
To me, this is similar to the jealousy conversation we was having, where it's like some people you feel jealous and you go off the handle and whatever. That is wrong. We not talking about that. The emotion, that is what Kana is referring to. Just the initial knee jerk, the offense.
Mm.
That happens to me. That isn't necessarily right or wrong. Nothing is wrong with that. It's just a feeling. What you do after that is a problem. Same way with jealousy. You
Yeah.
could feel jealous.
That
Don't
would
decide to burn down your boyfriend car or whatever. Like,
okay. Let me say it like this. That would be like if King went next to the old lady and the old lady grabbed her purse, and then he was like, "Oh, you think I'm gonna steal your purse?
and
Well,
then I
now I'm
rob
gonna
her.
do it for spite because you think
Like,
that I'm going to do it." That would be the difference, I guess.
But then you see, that was actually going to one of my questions because I was gonna actually ask him with that when when I said I was gonna go back to him. I was gonna ask like if you see her doing like that and you really feel like he's a racist or something, like do you go closer to her and be like boo, and then just like freak out even more, or do you just, you just leave her alone?
Honestly, in like before King answers the question that was directed to him directly. I don't even want to sit next to that woman. That's me personally.
like for me, my main thing is be like normally it's most situations where they'll get up and move, and then just be like, oh, okay, thank you. Like I know it's happening. You don't want to sit next to me, or you just think something happened. But it's like, thank you for the space. Like on trains and stuff like that,
Yo,
I've
on
seen that happen
Utrecht,
mad times.
yo, yeah, man. Every
Like,
time I come back from school,
so
every
it
time I
wasn't
come back from
something
school.
where it's like I am going out of my way to look for that or try to instigate. Nothing is like I walk in, I sit here. I look in general. I normally try to sit where I have space. Cause I don't want nobody sitting next to me. Like,
But then no, what going back to what I wanted to ask initially, I believe we had this conversation on the podcast. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised with more episodes we had by now. But obviously, like I was saying, obviously the fellows doing that in general is wrong, and the fact that women always have this constant state of fear just going out in public is wrong. But my
100%.
question is not enough just to accept it and to say it's wrong. But in which way do we address it? Do we address it as
that's kind of
teach
why I
the
was asking
women?
Kalissa.
But that's okay. I guess why I asking why asking more of the fellas, because we as the fellas is the one who's doing it.
Mm, I feel it.
So
That's
while
it.
the women are the victims, they are the victims, but it's the men's behavior that have to change.
Mhm.
But so again, now my question is, does it? Are you teaching the girls to be more tough and not to accept shit like that, or we legit trying to teach the younger ones or men in general to change their behavior? Or do we
Yeah,
feel like
but
it's
what
too
do you
late for the
mean?
older ones? Or do we go or do we focus on the younger ones to upcome to change the stigma or whatever for the coming upcoming generation?
Wait,
What do you
say
mean
that
not
again?
accepting? like that. I don't
Say that again.
understand.
As in, for instance, all racist white men, we will never be able to change them for them to accept that black people are equal to everybody else. That's never going to happen.
No, but you said to teach women not to accept things like that. That's what you said.
For lack of a better term, yeah. When I mean accept it, I mean, I guess I have to explain that a little bit better. Yeah, because that sound a little tense. Mm, I guess what I trying to get at is what I mean accepting, but not to be less afraid, or try to get them to be less afraid, for lack of a better term. Not to have that
Yeah,
constant
but
anxiety.
And
I still don't even know if that still
and
I
sound a
don't.
little that sound a little rough.
Honestly,
That's not a
doesn't.
solution. That is not a
No.
solution to
Nope.
yeah, because
like. To
again,
me,
again,
what
if
is the
you're
problem?
not vigilant, and then if you're not staying on top of shit, then again, when something happened, they're gonna turn around and ask you, yeah, but why you wasn't paying attention?
See,
That's my point.
first of all, that needs to change because that's the culture of fear, the culture of um, women are below men. That's the culture of if a guy goes into your house, because this what used to happen back then in the Caribbean, on Aruba specifically. If when the men went to work and the mother was maybe outside of the house and the child was in the house, and a
Hmm.
random guy comes in the house, the child was then said he needs to run away, go outside, and don't stay in the house. Don't talk about it. When you come home, when the parents come back home. That shit used to happen. Like everybody knew the rapey guy that lives in the street. No one did nothing about it. Everybody knows the guys exist. The guy does random shit in the. Sorry, I'm burping a lot. The man does random shit in the area, but nobody does nothing
I
to stop it.
mean,
And
it's not even that.
What?
Sometimes
no, but wait,
I don't know what you're talking about. One, number two, it is like you ever try to. Here's the thing. You ever try to
But
find one
Calista,
of
how
those
you gonna
but
cut him
wait,
off and then tell
but
him
yeah,
you don't
when
know
we
about?
All right, go ahead.
what I was trying to say with that whole thing is because they always blame the girl for whatever goes on. So that needs to change first of all. Like, not because a girl has something sexy on means the guy is not allowed to rape that person. But that's the mentality that everybody has. The mentality of, oh, the girl had did this and that's why this happened. No, it's not the girl did this. It's that guy did that. So that mentality, that what you're saying that oh, whenever something wrong happens, they blame the girl for something needs to change. That something needs to change first of all, because it's not the girl's fault that the guy did something wrong. The guy did something wrong, so that needs to change first of all. In terms of guys respecting women in general, like there's multiple layers to that because there's culture differences. Some cultures just don't treat women the same way still to this day. So there's that. There's the culture of generations past that still is ingrained in some kids today, especially in some parts of the Caribbean. Like there's layers to it, and same way with how racism is there's layers in racism, there's also layers in how men treat women because women were not treated equally as men in a certain time period, and there's still some layers of onion attached to that, especially with when it comes to what religion you believe in. All of that plays a role, and especially if you're living in a multicultural
Cultural.
place, and with the difference of religion and all of that plays a role in how men treat women, because certain religions don't believe that women are treated equally as well. So should be treated equally as well. So there's multiple layers to this, and yeah, how to fix
Mm,
it, I don't know. That's
I
what
don't
I'm
know.
trying to
I
I
guess.
was
Mm,
I wanted to react on one of the first things what I'd say about nothing being done about the supposed person walking in your house. Do you know how hard it is to file like one of those police reports and whether or not people take you serious? And it is one of the hardest things to prove.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. But it's
Because,
it's it's hard to
but
prove because
also if somebody, just walk in your house, nobody gonna do nothing about that. Yeah, they might go talk to the person or something like that. But like if they ain't do nothing to you, you don't have any type of allegation or anything like that.
yeah, but that's
And
what
then
I'm saying.
oftentimes it is be a situation where you go file a report about something, like somebody trying to do something to you or anything like that, and it is just like, yeah, we can't do nothing for you until something actually happened. Then even if something actually happened, you have a statute of limitation. You have to have some type of proof because people so afraid of people getting falsely accused of rape that you have like you need did and what like for like 10 things for you to be able to like actually like get a case, and then get once you get a conviction, and then especially like Dutch law, especially in the freaking Caribbean. First of all, Dutch law already did don't put people away for like where you gonna get max 2 years for that. And then you out in like what? Like that's what is a problem with the judicial system. But then also at the same time, it is not much that could be done because you don't want people in jail for false rape allegations. But if let me put it in this way, right? If your female friend come to you and tell you somebody rape her, right? You gonna believe her, right? You gonna be like, yo, that's terrible and whatnot. Yes or no?
Mhm.
If your partner come to you and tell you, yo, this chick saying I rape her and this and that, what's your reaction then?
But I gonna ask questions with both.
Asking questions, yeah.
You ask questions with both.
I
Yeah, because this has happened. I've been in
If
both
I
it
have
situations.
been in that
somebody you
situation,
consider
and
to be
I can let her tell
close
you what
partner.
I did. I can tell you what I did in that situation. So when that story broke out, that and I know both of the individuals, and he come and tell me, yo, this girl tell me this and that, and I was like, well, we gonna see what happened. I am not going to, cause I cannot tell him that he's right, and I cannot say that she's right, cause I was not there. So I'm not going to big up in a situation where I was not present. Now, if I was present, then I have more say in the matter because I saw what happened. But if I didn't see what happened, then I am not going to interject myself in any situation regarding someone accusing someone else or something. That's why when it comes to that, I usually don't take someone's side on something I do not know, because that's not the way you should take sides to begin with. You can only take sides if you know for 100% that this man was did not do it. For example, if they accuse King of doing something, but King on that day King was with me the whole day, and we came home together, and then we both said bye together,
Mm,
then I'm bigging up the man, because
okay,
then
okay.
he has an alibi that I was with him. Then I can address it. But if I don't know what you did, I'm not gonna big you up and help you. And same thing for a girl. Like, I'm not going to go out of my way without knowing for sure that he did what he did. Like, cause honestly, there's been times where that shit happened and people were accused of doing something, and then later come to find out the father said it or the mother said tell her to do it. Like, there's been times that stuff like that happened too. So me
Yep.
knowing this, I'm not going to then
Jump
interject
to combo
myself.
exactly.
Just let the law do its thing, and if it comes out he did it, he did it. And if he did
Yeah.
come out
Okay.
he didn't do it, but that's the only I look. The thing about, I understand it's fucked up because sometimes the law fails,
Yeah. That's the only
but
way I could agree with you with that one.
but like, what, you want to take the law in your hands, and what if you're wrong? That's the thing. That's
And
why the only thing
I'm
you
not
can
saying to
do is
say,
stay outside of it, because you can't do anything regardless, or
I'm
go
not
to
saying
jail.
to take the law into your hands, though. But here's the difference, right? Like
if somebody accuse your partner of like robbing somebody or something like that, you going to either pick a side or you're not gonna pick. Like you're gonna be like, "Nah, I believe you one time." Whatever your partner say, like. But then when it comes to something like that, and then the main issue is like, I don't know if y'all realize how thing it is for that to actually happen to you, because no matter what, that's somebody best friend, that's somebody cousin, the uncle, brother, whatever. And it's not the type of thing where you could just um file a claim, like go to the police station, make a report, and then that's it. You gonna make a report, and then you gonna get the family members or the cousins or the friends in your inbox and all over calling you everything, and calling you out of your name, calling you all type of shit, telling you how you a hoe, how you this, how you that, and then it's like so hard to prove on top of it too.
Yeah,
So then you might end up doing that, get people calling you all type of shit, and then you still ain't get nothing from it.
yeah,
Except now people want to be sending you death threats and all kind of shit.
yeah. It's fucked up, but that's the thing. Like, regardless, like what the family does, like I still tell women like they have to come out, because if you don't come out, then then the system is going to benefit that guy more, because then it's going to be too late and eventually, and then when they finally do come out, then they can't really do much with the information that came out to begin with. And the family, what the
I
family
mean,
does, like, yeah, like, it's fucked up, but that's for better or for worse, that's what you would expect a family would do most of the time.
But it is a
It's fucked
case.
up.
It really depends on a case by case basis, because I understand how she feels that we some like fellas in general will mostly try to stick up for the boys or whatnot, but that's not the case with everybody, or things. I know a lot of my friends or a lot of my friend base. If we had to find out what one partner was raping or one partner was doing rape, so stuff like that, it wouldn't be a friendship.
Yeah,
I could only speak for me and my people. I can't speak for everybody else. You check.
I feel like the complicated thing that is often kind of not get mentioned in these conversations, I feel, is like people that rape ain't necessarily advertising their raping ways, though. Like, I understand the sentiment that has often come from women, where it's like they would like it for men to talk, to check their partners, because it's like, generally speaking, men is who raping, doing the raping type of thing. So for men to handle the
I don't.
problem, handle it amongst the people, like check your partners and make sure that ain't nobody doing that. But it's like the dude that is raping ain't coming to tell me, yo, I just raped this chick type of thing. Like,
No, but
it's
okay.
I
certain
don't
That
expect you
problematic
to check your
behavior.
partners, but
It's
I have
certain
heard, I
problematic
have been in a
behavior that
group.
you can check, but it's not like it's certain
Yeah.
situations where it might happen. It is a club situation, for example, the culture of people that run trains and stuff like that. If it's something like that where there's multiple people and there's witnesses and all of y'all doing the gang situation, that is something I can understand. You can take active action and you can do stuff about that. You can call out like, yo, the concept of running trains, that is problematic. That is also known as gang rape, basically, like different things, at least if it's not consensual type of thing. But I mean, it's just like,
but no, I feel
But
like
I
sometimes
don't
it should
expect
be
you to
called
check
out.
your partners though. Like, although I have been in a situation like in group settings where I heard guys make rape jokes before, and the partners just was like thought it was funny.
I mean, it depends on the joke. I know it can sound problematic, but like, I agree with Dave Chappelle on this. To me, it's not just big. I understand rape is not. I don't think a person getting raped is funny, but there are ways to talk about the concept of rape that could end up being a joke that is funny and causes a laugh. That does not necessarily mean I condone rape.
But is that in combination with your actions, especially like if I hear you make a type of joke like that, right? And I see how you just move when you're drunk, and then your partners don't check you. That's a little concerning to me, because if I feel uncomfortable to the point that you would never come in my house, like even if me and you just hang around in the same circle, or we cool or whatever, but I hear certain shit, and then I just like, and then I see how you just act sometimes, and then I'm like, nah, you don't need to be nowhere around me, because I already like experience things where I like people you would never have an inkling about would do some shit, and then it's people who just give you like this weird vibe. I feel like when God sending you red flags, you gotta listen to them. You gotta be like, all right, cool.
Hmm.
But that's what I'm saying with King said, while yes, granted, the most extreme situations you can't see, you can't really show proof or signs that this fella raped this or been raping people or whatnot. But like if you going out and you check in to see like a friend of a friend, like you okay, me and King, me and you going to the club. I introduced you to one of my partners that I introduced you to one of my partners. Bam. We chilling throughout the night, whatnot. You see this fella getting a little handsy with girls, or like if a girl would pass, then he would like just grab her ass and try to make a joke out of it. And obviously, she don't know him and he don't know her. To me, that's not saying a man who is do that does rape, but
I understand.
those are small little signs to be like, boy, yo,
It's like I
or
don't know
that
if you've
is a
ever
case
seen.
that is a case where fellows could be checked. Like,
It's one
yo,
of those
that's not.
things where, like, I don't know if you're familiar with the concept, but there's like a pyramid of rape culture, and it breaks down. It has like all the different layers of things that play into rape culture. That's not is not full blown rape, but like from the catcalling to different
Hmm.
aspects of male behavior. And to me,
Hmm.
that is where I understand there is certain things that you could see, but it's not like your partner telling you he's raping. So it's like for that type of thing,
Nah.
for sure you can check certain behaviors. That's basically what I was trying to say. Like he not you not gonna know to that extent. If you've seen certain things, you could call him and not be like, yo, that joke or this thing that you perceive as a joke, that may not be a joke. Because to me, it's not like, don't misinterpret my statement about the thing where I'm saying rape is funny. It's not, but it's a topic in my opinion, like anything else. Depending on the joke that you make, it can be funny. Is not to say, but anyway, that's
I
repeating
see, I
that.
see, I see to a certain extent what you're saying because let's be real. When you think about rape, mostly most situations you think about women, there's nothing funny about that situation in general.
Yeah.
But I can give you a lot of rape jokes about men. So
I
it's
don't think
like
that's funny.
it is no, it's not either way. Both of them is fucked up, but one is definitely more accepted than the other. I can guarantee
To
you
be
that.
honest, to be honest with you, all the rape jokes I just hear is concerning women. I never heard a rape joke about a guy.
Don't drop the soap.
How you mean? Don't
Don't
drop
drop
the
the soap.
soap,
I
going
mean,
jail. All that is
no,
jokes.
but I mean like
These
actual,
just
like
cultural jokes
in
that just
social. No, but I saying like in social context, whenever I hear somebody actually like in real life joking about it, is never did they never joking about men. Like whenever
Wait,
I have heard jokes,
who you
like
hanging
especially
around with?
when
so you've never heard nobody make the
the
joke. Don't
people are
drop the
you
soap,
hanging
Joe. So you've never heard Joe. Don't drop the soap in real life, like outside of a
by
TV, maybe
maybe a couple
Friday
of
or
times.
something. Like none of, and that is a rape joke. I'm just saying. I'm not saying it's funny or not. That's up to
I
everybody
mean,
who hears
I
it. But
don't
it is
know.
a rape joke. It's a rape joke about men raping men. That is what is implied by "don't drop the soap." If you do, you're gonna get raped by
I
a
know
man.
wasn't I just saying like in a social situation, I can't remember a time of hearing that. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
Mm.
is there though.
Maybe we're showing our age in a little bit.
No, but I think I
Ah,
don't
that
know.
could be
Maybe
true.
I think, but no, I think it's more so that fellows more inclined to say that to like you, like no dude gonna come tell me that. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, of course not. Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. So I feel like that's a type of joke that fellows would have with fellows. Like it wouldn't
Yeah.
be. like you would
I
necessarily say
Yeah, but
in,
the like I
I
like
the
I've
I don't.
heard it before, but like actually in real life,
But
but like
Kalisa,
yeah, but
stand up,
that's the thing. Like,
stand up to
who
both.
came up to you and said like a rape joke to women? Like
No,
that's a
not
big red
to me,
flag.
but like in my presence. In my presence, I've heard
yeah.
it, and about not necessarily it more so about like shows and stuff like that. I've been before in the past, but in those circumstances, it was women.
Well, I
It
mean,
never like
we can't speak to you on your experience, and your experience is thing of how you feel based on how you feel. We can only say in our experience is quite is quite prevalent, and me personally myself have seen it made by women in front of women all around women. So that's why it's like for me it is definitely something a normal something. The rape jokes for men is almost like non like the how to say the empathy for men when it comes to rape jokes is not there, or at least that's how I have experienced it.
But either way, in some ways, I feel we're getting a little bit
Yeah,
off
yeah.
topic because
Yeah, yeah,
it's not this
It's
whole
not
not
thing was
about
about
not
men
about
today.
men.
yeah, yeah,
It's
yeah,
not about
Yeah,
men
or
today.
rape in general.
I would I would say though
I forget how we got here.
I would say just coming off of what Kalissa was saying, I have experienced like some certain men are inclined to like make these inappropriate or misogynistic, maybe not to the extent of like rape, but something you wouldn't say to a woman. Like if you're in a group of guys is more inclined to say jokes like that. Um, just because there's a bunch of guys, expecting you to feel the same way they do, and it's like in your head, it's like no, I don't like you're weird. You're weird. I don't agree with what you're saying now, but because this person is in a group of dudes, thinking that all dudes think the same, they're gonna go up, they're gonna go and say what would be deemed inappropriate.
Yeah, like I like outside of my friend group, like there is like one or two of those random, like not random, like people that we know who they are, and that like when they dare, like they make those comments, and it's like, yo, this man weird. Like you notice me, like even in our group, like we know that one guy that every time like he walk around, it's like, oh fuck me, that. And then he
Yeah,
walk away, and then the group can breathe again. But yeah, I don't walk with these people. I know they exist though. I'm not saying they don't exist.
But like
but then,
that kind of touches on something Calissa was saying earlier about like the process of taking down these people and all of that is like there's oftentimes a lot of shit that makes it a complicated process why not like justice doesn't get served if it's like
yeah.
this person is known to be the molester or the raper in the neighborhood or whatever. Is like I mean on
But
St.
it's
Martin there certainly are and we know certain people that fall into that category, but it's just like this person is
it's
the family member of a politician or they a family member of a police or the friend of a police or a politician or like
it's not only that. No, it's like more likely than not, you're more likely to get raped by either a family member or somebody that you know than a random person. So then that's kind of problematic because like you're not going to who the fuck gonna file a claim against a family man, well, like not file a claim, but like open a police report or something against your
but you see,
family
I
member
but I find like that's what
because
Woods was saying. I find that mentality is what Woods was talking about that
That
needs to
needs to
change though.
change. That needs to
Like
change.
no,
that is
but
definitely one of the
no.
things that needs to change.
that can't
Here's the
change
thing:
until
have you
the things
no?
in place
Have
is
you
changed. Like
been
that's a defense
exact?
mechanism type of
It ain't
thing
even. It
where
ain't even that though.
if I don't get no
No,
justice, why
it's
would I
not
come forward type of thing? If it's nothing but downsides for
exactly.
like I speak up, I get death threats, I
No,
lose my job type
okay.
of thing.
I
It's
I
like
I
unless
But
there
where
is
is
things in
concerning your
place to
family?
protect the woman, unless there's things in
But
place to protect the woman, is like why would she come forward if I'm not
because
gonna get
if you
justice
don't
and I'm
come
gonna get
forward,
ridiculed and shamed?
if
But
you
if you're
don't
not
come forward,
protected
more
me,
people are
why
going
would
to
I
get
come forward?
raped. If you don't come, cause like here's the thing, like I get it, it's fucked up, but if you don't
So
come forward, more people are
so
going to
the
get raped.
woman
Cause that
so
one
the
that
woman gets raped, I speak up and she gets killed and then what happens?
gets killed.
What you think that threats and all
yo,
of the depending
Yeah,
on the
no,
person that you're
I
accusing
don't
of?
think
I
you
get what you're saying, but
understand
this is
what I'm
what's
trying to
going on
say.
the island right now that people did not come out, and these guys them were raping a bunch of kids. And look, right now I'm in a group that we're trying to encourage women to come out, because at least then we can make somewhat of a database of the people that rape kids and do inappropriate things with kids and women on the island, because we don't have that. There were mad times these people were just, they go to jail and then they come out because maybe one girl made a claim, but then like he got locked up, came out, but there's not a list for these people them to be on the island. That's one thing we're fighting for.
Woods.
Things need to be changed. I understand. No, I understand what you're saying. I understand there's drawbacks to it, but staying silent is something we should
I don't feel like
stop.
you do understand. Who
Woods,
is this?
to me,
Like,
It's like
No,
I get what
no,
you're
we
coming
as
from,
the
and to
people
me,
need to stop. Like we need to stop the culture that exists right now in terms of ridiculing women from coming out. We have to stand behind them and stuff like that. Stuff like
you
that
could
needs
say
to
that all you
change.
want, but Woods. If the majority of the people getting raped by a family member, do you know what's going to happen when you go to the police department and file a police report that your cousin or your uncle or this one or that one rape you? Half your family going to shun you. That is what is going to happen. Half the family going to say you want attention, you want this, you want that,
So we're gonna then.
and then
So
it will continue.
yeah, I get it, but then stay quiet because it's your family member.
was
Or we,
basically
no,
it's
I
a
know, I get
complicated
what you.
You know
situation.
how
It's
It's a
complicated, but
complicated
my
situation.
I
point
get
is,
it, but I'm just saying the right thing is always to speak out. Regardless, like what happens afterwards
I
happens
feel
Okay,
that's
you
okay,
mad.
afterwards.
I
can't you
feel
okay.
that
cannot
Wait,
is
wait.
you
mad
cannot
Woods,
tell
simplistic.
Woods.
That is
somebody,
mad
You
you
simplistic.
need to
cannot
change.
tell
You
some
need to just change your thing. You can't say the
you
right thing to do
you
is.
can't say the
Say
right thing.
what
Yeah.
you feel or what you think should be done. Because by you saying that, I'm making a statement that yeah, all situations, the right thing to do is to speak out, and that's not true. That's not the case. That's why it's a complicated issue because not everybody has those opportunities, those situations, those chances, or those support to come out and do that. I see
But
what
we
King's saying
have
now.
no, but we
But
have
but
to
but
make
but don't get
those.
me wrong. I feel what you saying as well. But you saying that is the 100% right way, that's not true either. It's not. It would help to make things better, yes, but that would not help every individual situation, G. It won't.
It's greater
And then
good
stand for
thinking
ball
versus
if
It's
you
really
don't
it's
know
really a
individuals.
how
greater, yeah,
to.
exactly. This is a situation where it's a greater good something. Do I want to do
You could
is and as a personal choice? Do I want to use my example? I speaking off of the women that I've had these conversations with. Please do not take me in the thing that I just speaking of what I've been told. For them is either do I want to put my personal stuff out there and be ridiculed and judged and have my life basically ripped apart for other people, or do I just want to take my salt, lick my wounds, take what I have to take, try to forget about it, and just move on? That's the choice they have, you check? And that's not an easy one, regardless of which one you choose, G.
Cause for
That's
some people,
right.
it's literally like
Because
loss of
none of
job,
them, because none
all
of them
kind of
are
shit.
easy choices. I would rather, I would at least
It
again.
don't matter what you would rather though. Like, yo, I don't understand. Like, do you understand how difficult it is to
I
cope with?
understand how difficult it is, but that's the whole thing that we're
I
in the
don't.
group on the island. That's why the protests are happening, are trying to change. So if we accept that women getting raped is something that if they have a choice they should, and if it's a family member they should do it, because the repercussions of coming out is bad. We should change what the repercussions are. But
No, you talking about the repercussions, you're talking about what people telling you. I'm asking, do you understand how hard it is for an individual to cope with being raped?
yes, but when the person we should like, and here's the whole thing about the situation. So we're talking about choosing to come out and choosing to not to come out. I'm talking about when the person, if the person is ready to, they should not feel afraid because of what other people are going to do. If the person is ready to come out,
Ah, but you see now your statement is a little
no, but
different.
that's what I'm
Oh,
saying. If the
yeah, I didn't
person
think.
wants to, there should
Okay,
not be in their head
that's
of
kind of a
what
big,
the
big
family
difference.
is
So
going to do afterwards. Because then it's not she. Then it's she wants to come out, but she can't because of what the family is going to do or what people are going to say about her. That needs to
But
change. I'm not
you'll
saying
never
if she got
but you'll
ready.
never be able to control that, because you know why? Because the person that one, I could show you I this person, but I showing somebody else I a totally different person. You know how many people fat or rape their friends, but they don't believe their friends because that's not the person they experience, that's not the person they grow up with. It got a girl in a room.
Yeah, I know. I
This
know.
is a
I'm in the
big
group.
high profile case where her her father raped her sister, and she turned on her sister because she went to the police, because that's not the man that she grew up with. So regardless of whatever you think, oh, we shouldn't act like that, we shouldn't, that's what's going to happen. Realistically,
Yeah,
is going to happen because the person I experience is not the person you experience.
yeah, I get that.
So you gonna turn around and look at me like I want attention.
Yeah, I no, I get that. But should you then not come out
And
because of fear of what your quote unquote sister might do?
but
Should you now
what
keep it
what
inside and
good
not
is
be?
it? What good is it if if you cannot prove it? They're more than likely not going to get convicted or nothing
Woods, I have a
if you
question.
can't prove it.
I have a question. In your scenario, like, what is when the people come out, they have a database. The purpose of this is to, I assume, get justice in some kind of way. Hopefully, if you could get these people
Cause,
locked up.
cause here's the cause look, now we're looking at it in a bigger perspective. Cause the problem is the laws are not fitted to help these people. First of all, so you coming out like the goal, at least the goal, because right now the government ain't helping because we have fucked up laws for people that do that rape and
Is the
stuff like
goal
that.
justice, Woods? Is the purpose justice?
The purpose
Like
is to make
justice, some
sure
kind of like
the purpose of this, the purpose right now, because we fighting to change the laws. The purpose, at least, of coming out is to first make change the culture from making it being super hard to come out to being people being more comfortable to come out because they have a group of people that's behind them. We're not saying all of them are going to be saying the truth because you're going to have a case by case basis of if it's telling the truth, yes or not. But it should not be you come out and the first thing you get in is ridicule. So this is what we're trying to change. We're encouraging people to come out at least as a starting point. Now, what what does that do? When a lot of people come out, then you know, oh, okay, there's a trend. It's not just this one guy with this one girl. It's not just this one. Like if people come out, then you can address or at least present the problem to the government to like, yo, guys, this is a fucking problem. And we have a list of people accusing a bunch of people. Because once you have a big enough sum, you can actually do something about it. But if people don't come out and they keep it locked up, then this thing gonna keep happening. And then if the culture never changes, then we're gonna say, okay, you have if somebody gets raped, like if because the situation is too fucked up, the government ain't behind you, no one's behind you, so just keep it to yourself. It's fucked up right now. I'm not saying it's not fucked up, but I don't.
Woods. Honestly, like what from what I'm hearing, I agree with everything you're saying, and to me, that is how things should be handled and addressed in an ideal situation. The only thing I was trying to get at is like, does your goal match what is at stake for the individual who might come forward with their particular story? It's a complex thing
Yes.
for each individual, what might lead to them being more comfortable or not comfortable, because to me your situation works if we actually working on the support basically.
Yeah.
If there is something in place where, for example, there's a fund so that if you come forward and maybe it was at the workplace or whatever, you are entitled to some kind of monthly support, so you don't have to worry about, oh, you can lose your job because your employer sexually harass you, so you're afraid to come out because you need to feed your kids XYZ. If there's some kind of support fund to make sure your bill's gonna be covered if you do come out, there's making sure we send in security to your house to potentially watch and protect you from the accuser that, or family of the accuser, or relatives of the accuser, or some random hitman that the accuser hired to kill this. Like, there's, you don't know how kind of ways people are taking action against the people that come out and accuse somebody of rape or sexual assault or whatever. So to me, it's like everything you're saying, it sounds great, and I agree wholeheartedly with it. It just needs that, and it sounds like from what you're saying, y'all are trying to work on addressing those issues to make it more comfortable. But it's like what you're saying about changing the culture, so it's more accepting of people, so that they feel comfortable to come out and those type of things. You know, there's strength in numbers, etc. So it's like if they're at least outed, people know about him, people know what the targets is or who to look out for and all of that. So I do get where you're coming from. It's just a complex thing. That's all. Like,
No, I understand that wholeheartedly. I understand that wholeheartedly. I'm very emotional about this. By the way. So if y'all don't
Yeah,
mind.
I don't know. I legit feel what Wood's saying as well. But again, based on the conversations I've had with those who have been in those situations, I also see what Callista's saying as well. So like, for me, at least my personal thing is it gotta be a mixture of both. It gotta be a combination of two. It
Well,
can't. It's not a subject
you
that could be
know you
attacked or has
And
one
yeah
direct solution.
yeah. One thing I just want to say because
my
then I let everybody else talk again. Sorry. Um, like from my friends that been through this, a lot of them like they've never really become themselves again.
hmm.
Like they've
Yeah, you
they've
don't.
stayed quiet about it, and like they've legit never been themselves again. They can't do random normal ass shit without being paranoid every single time of the day. They Some of them can't sleep good at night. Like this thing, like regardless, like it stays with them, and to then keep that by yourself for the rest of your life is not.
that's not necessarily what people are advocating for neither.
No,
Because
but
to
no,
me, it's
but
like there's a difference between outing my accuser and me just staying with it and going to therapy. Because there's a lot of people that's like, yo,
you
don't make no
you
scene,
don't even
don't go
have
public, deal with that internally. You so you could move on for your own personal growth and shit. Go talk to a therapist.
yeah.
Like,
How
I'm
can you
not
move
saying
on
that's
and
the
the
right
person
way.
you still living with the person in the house? How you gonna move on when people when there's birthday parties of this individual in your family that you constantly need to see at family gatherings and all of this
I
type
hear
of
what you're
stuff.
saying, but that
Like
is the
And
reality
what
for
do you
many women
think?
that has
But
come out.
what?
That is the
But
reality for
what
many
do you
women that
think
have accused the people publicly as well, which is why some of
is
them now learn, as I
what do
was
you
saying,
think is
it's a
going to
defense
happen?
mechanism. Like, it's a defense mechanism, so I learned to not come out because we've seen history. It's a similar thing to like black people and the cops and their distrust of the police and things. Like, over time, if I see you kill a black person as a cop and no ain't no justice gonna get solved, at a certain point I stop almost even thinking justice could happen.
what do what do we do to somewhat bring light to that? We protest, right? Or do
Okay,
we
but
stay quiet
you
and
could
let it happen?
protest.
No, I'm just saying, like this is what I'm saying. Like you got to at least try, dog. You gotta fight, even
I
though,
agree. My
like,
whole
cause
thing
That
is
even
is
just
like,
make
so
sure you,
easy to
if you
say
want
I'm
from
people
a
not
to
saying
fight,
it's
position
easy
of
to
not
say,
being
Calissa.
raped,
It's
though.
not easy to say. It's not. I'm not saying it is easy, but
if you want people to fight, make sure the support lined up. That's
yes,
my point, Woods.
and
If
My
that's the
point
fucked
is
up
not even
that's the fucked up thing about it, because on Aruba people have mad they talk mad shit about it until it comes to the point, and then most of the island don't do shit, dog.
that is my
People are,
point exactly.
I get you, because the culture is like that.
So you want people to come out and let's say that accuse somebody, and like you say, oh, what you gonna do if you living with a person? What you think gonna happen if you accuse the person and nothing will happen?
Yeah, that's why you're going to be in a fuck up situation regardless. You're going to be in a fucked up
Wait,
situation regardless.
okay, wait.
No,
What
you
was
end
you
up in
don't
a
think?
worse situation.
Yeah, that's the
Which
thing.
one? What? Which one is better or worse?
That's subjective, though. Woods.
Woods,
That's what
Woods,
we're
let me ask you a
saying.
question. Are you a victim
Was
of
if
rape?
you are
If not, I don't think you should really have too much to say on
I
this
am
about
not
which
a.
is better or worse.
I am not a
Like I hear you, I
I am
understand,
not
I
a. I am not
sympathize
a
because
victim of rape, but
I have
someone.
many female friends, and
Someone.
I can't never, no
Let
matter how
me.
much stories I've heard.
Let me just say this. Someone that's not even a half a step far removed of me was raped, and I have to live with that till this day. Of the psychological things that's attached to that. That's why I'm emotional about it. There's a reason why I'm emotional about it. Right?
Woods, and I'm
And
hearing
the
what you're
person
saying.
came out about it 30 years after the person that did it to that person passed away. And still has to deal with that somehow, mentally. No one knows about it in the family. Everybody regards this person as a really good person.
exactly. And then if the
And
person come out, they gonna say that, oh, you just trying to make a scene, or you just trying to get attention. That's what happen, because if you regard this person as a really good person, if you come out no, you burn all your bridges.
It's a person. It's legit got to be a person or something. You can't get mad at those that don't.
I am not
You can't
getting
get mad.
mad.
No, I know. I'm
Yeah,
not
you
saying you.
can't.
I
Yeah.
mean, like in general. I mean, sorry, not Wood, but in general, people can't get upset at those who don't, or people can't get upset at those who do, because each person's situation is different, Jad. A lot of people don't have that support. A lot of people have the situation where that person that has done the action is the favorite, is the supporter of the family, or the black backbone of the family, or the good person of the family and stuff like that. But I also see what Woods is saying as well. If that person, if you don't come out and at least say something, that person could one potentially continue to keep doing the same thing, and the whole culture is never going to change. Anybody that feels that, oh yeah, if oh yeah, I can do this and get away with it, that whole stigma going to continue as well if people don't continue to think. And
Which is
But
why
what
I
what
say
I
you
see what
what
Woods
support,
is
what
saying.
you think
support.
going to happen?
That's
Yeah,
why I say, if
What you
don't
think going
ask
to
me to fight
happen?
if you not got the support ready. If you want me to
But
fight, make
here's
sure you bring my shield and my sword and shit if you want me to fight. That's what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying. Like I get
hmm
exactly where both you and Woods coming from. Because
hmm
somebody has to try, somebody has to start to get a shift happening to change the culture to make it more acceptable. But for those people that gonna be on the front line taking those shots coming out, you best have the shields ready. Or else don't get mad at the people not out there wanting to take the shots, because that is the reality now. If I
and
step
that's
out
the
there,
reasons why.
I'ma
Yeah,
get
yeah,
shot.
yeah,
Like
yeah.
Yeah.
what
That's
can
why
I
he's
get
not
mad at
stepping out
me?
in the
This is
first.
like the
Yeah,
whole
yeah.
Me Too movement. This is how it started. Like
but
you need the needle at least to be moved somewhat in the workspace to make it, because that's basically a similar dynamic. Because if you're going to go to your boss that has the power dynamic and you put yourself out there, be like, yo, he did this to me. Like if
But
And
something
then
does not
what
come
the thing
out,
is, we saying you right. The only thing is you can't say it has to be done. That's the only thing we saying. You can't tell somebody they have to do that.
you
You
know
can't tell
what?
somebody it's
no,
right to
but
do that. That's
yeah,
our only thing. You check.
No,
because we're not
you
disagreeing
know
here.
what
We're
I
not
feel
I
is,
disagreeing.
am not disagreeing with y'all neither, no. But I'm
Okay.
saying in order to, well, because we were talking, how do we change it?
Yeah, yeah, that
That
is
was the
true. That is
conversation.
true.
So if we trying to change it, then
That is true.
you need to do stuff. You cannot not
Yeah.
change something by not
Uh,
doing anything. Then it will
you got me
never
there.
get changed.
but what I trying to tell you is, what do you think? What type of message you think that will send to the person that was accused, right? If somebody file a police report against them and nothing gets done, Sean was just talking about, oh yeah, they feel like they're gonna get away with it. You know how much that amplifies that feeling once somebody press charges against you and nothing is done and your reputation is fine and everybody forget about it?
That's what I'm saying. Those
And
things need to be
That's
changed.
10 times worse.
but that's why King and also Woods was saying you have to be willing to want to come out. One, that's what Woods was saying. And King was saying they have to have those systems in place. If those systems are not in place to get that support, then it don't make sense for you to even want people to come out.
Thank you.
But I'm not saying getting support. I'm talking about purely if no action is like if you file a police report and they determine it don't have enough evidence, the person get away scotch free, which
But
is what has
Kalissa, this
happened
is
in
the
a lot of
support.
But
This
that
is the
instances.
that all
support
of
we're
that is a
talking about
support. All of that is with the support.
to ensure it
And
so that if that
to
is your
change the
situation,
exactly to change the
can you
laws
have a
where it's
new
not that
house?
easy
Is
and
there a
all that kind of thing.
relocation program for like if it's your father, for example, that is the rapist in the situation and you have to live under his house? This is your legal guardian. There needs to be a relocation program that is like a women's safety foster home type of situation for people that might not be of legal age so that okay, cool, well your dad is a rapist. Here is a house you could go to where we take care of people that went through similar situations or something because they obviously can't go back home because it's not a safe environment. If shit like that is not in place, to me, don't expect no woman to say shit. That is my
I
standpoint. If in terms of like,
I don't even mean purely that. That's the thing. I mean from the rapist perspective. I mean as in if that person gets away scot free, whether the girl gone or whatever, does that not reinforce the idea that he could do whatever he wants and get away with it? Especially if somebody file a report and he just get away scot free. Does
Yeah,
that not reinforce
yeah,
that?
yeah, yes,
yeah, but
yes.
it
I
still
see what
helps
you're
the
saying,
No,
movement.
but
It
they're
still
not
but
doing
helps.
nothing.
it's still. Now I see what Woods is saying to. I have to backwards up with this to a certain extent. If you don't report it, he still gets in away.
Yeah, but I
If
feel
you do, if
is more power in somebody reporting you and you getting away scot free
but you
and
see
nothing
what you
happening to you.
But how is their
but
Then
no,
power if that person is no longer around for you to
King, wait,
victimize?
King, wait. She has the right to feel how she feel. What she said there different is a lot different to what his whole thing, and that's the same thing we did with Woods. So I got pull up on it too. You have right to feel how you feel, but then you cannot tell Woods he does not like he can't feel the way he feels as well, or how he feeling and thinking about it is wrong. Because his emotion is based off of the stories he heard from other people versus
but
based
I'm
off the
not
stories he hear from long one. No, but you make it, you giving the feeling. 'Cause I get that as well. You guess you get it seems like you giving the feeling that what Wood's saying or Wood's way of approaching it is completely wrong, and that's not true
I ain't
either.
saying it's completely wrong, but I saying if you don't change the judicial system, it don't make sense. Because if that person is getting away scot free, now he have more power, he got more confidence because he they send in a
Because
police
that's what we've
report and
been
nothing
saying
happened
though.
to him.
Is that not the support we're talking about?
That is what we've been trying to tell you. That's what we trying.
Well,
If
how you
we
gonna
don't have
change
the
that?
if you don't have the support, we don't know. That's what we
But
having this conversation for.
y'all think support Vegas. Fuck no.
Yeah,
Like people
that
just
is
living.
one
Oh
way.
my
That is one
god.
way we feel into thing, but we don't know the specifics of that support system, Kalissa. That is one way we feel that it could change. We don't know how to change it. This is all a hypothetical.
I gave
This is
mad
all a
examples. I
hypothetical.
gave multiple examples, so it's not really vague. I gave multiple examples addressing the situations that we
And
were
so did
talking
Woods as
about.
well.
Like,
Yeah.
it's not mad vague. I explained support as like
Both
shield and
sides.
sword, using
Yeah,
metaphors and
but that's
everything.
what
I
I
think I was pretty
say.
clear.
No, but I was talking about specifically judicial system. Y'all say supporters and people backing them up, like housing
Did I
stuff
not
like
talk
that.
about the
But
No,
people
but
give
judicial
them
talk,
the
talk
wrong
system?
notification.
but Woods and King mentioned the judicial system, Kalissa. Both of them mentioned it.
All right.
All right,
So,
my
so
only
Rashid, how long we going for now?
About 28 minutes.
Okay, and that sounds about like the right length for a link up episode. I
bye.
mean, it seemed like this conversation getting quite heated, and I mean, I understand because it is a touchy subject, because it is something that affects a lot of people personally that got relations. So it makes all the sense. But we on the same side here, people. We all
Yeah,
agree.
yeah, that was
Like,
mentioned as well.
rape is wrong. We want to see change happen. We are disagreeing on how we see the change going about. My standpoint is pretty much I think support needs to come out from like support meaning judicial laws changing, meaning creating infrastructure and different stuff, institutions to exist to support victims in whatever situation. I can't think of every rape scenario right now to list out every scenario that needs to be like the type of protection this person may need. That's why I mentioned stuff like either you're getting security at your house, a relocation program, a fund to support you if it's your job, workplace type of thing. There's mad other scenarios that people can think of that rape happens in, but I can't cover all of them right now with the soft top. But support, basically protection, make it a safe environment so people can speak out, and the repercussions, all the negative stuff we've been talking about in this conversation, something is in place to mitigate the negative repercussions, to encourage more women to come out. Like, I think these are things we all generally agree on. So it's like, I don't know where to end this. Kalissa, since this initially was your topic, I guess if you got final thoughts, things you still want to say on it, things that might not have been mentioned. No, okay.
Okay, I think that's more or less we could start wrapping up. Are you got any plugs?
No.
Make sure to check out the Mr. King LP, which is on all streaming services, whichever one you may prefer: Apple, Tidal, Spotify, Deezer, anything you choose to listen to music on, YouTube Music, and those things. If you want to purchase it, that helps to support me, which in turn kind of helps support the link up. So that was on, yeah, Apple Music and Amazon, Google Play. You know, if you want to buy it, purchase the album. Woods.
Okay. Yeah, I ain't got nothing in the moment either, and I don't think we should even bother asking Rashid. Yeah, King.
Alrighty then, with all of that being said, people, I hope you enjoyed the episode. For those people that stayed with us all the way to the end, make sure to like and subscribe. Like this video, subscribe to the YouTube channel, follow us on Spotify or those if you prefer listening in audio format and all of that. And with all of that being said, we'll see y'all the next time we link up. Woods.
Bless.
Wait, 1 second, guys. My phone is off.